Hi everyone, and welcome to today's reading. If this is the first time you're seeing me, I am the Hermit Tarot, and this is my YouTube channel. A massive welcome back to those who are returning. I wanted to get this part 2 series video out before the end of the year, and if you missed part 1, I will include a link right about now to help you navigate to that video so that you can get all of your messages. I have a feeling this one will be the more popular one just because it is a little more centered on the topic, but we're asking Spirit today through tarot cards, oracle cards, and other powerful divination tools, who is your future spouse? Now I'm going to get characteristics, personality traits. I'm going to get an example of how their friends and family would describe them. And to really help you understand how you can recognize them, I recommend that you watch part 1, as that video is centered on first impressions. So in this video, we're focusing more on how they are known by the people around them and how you will know them as the connection deepens. There will be a part 2 for each of the groups. The extended readings are a wonderful way to support this channel and what I do here on YouTube for free. So I encourage you to just wait till the end, have a listen. If you feel called to access that extended reading, the link to the extended readings is in the description box and the pinned comment. And that link takes you to my website where I host all my extended readings. So I highly recommend you triple check before you spend anything that you have selected the right reading. Quick disclaimer, I recently updated the communications aspect of my website, so I'm able to receive messages directly to my mobile phone, and I'm able to reply and access the log of what people have purchased. So if you do accidentally purchase the wrong extended reading, please reach out to me via the website and let me know, and I can sort it out for you a lot quicker now than what I had been able to do in the past. It used to take me a long time to filter through emails and to double check records because I always had to access it through a desktop computer. And so it would just be a lot compared to now I can do it wherever, whenever. So with that spiel out of the way, sweet souls, let's get into it. Who is your future spouse? I'm going to pull an oracle card for each of you, and this will help us understand kind of who your future spouse is. I'm going to pull a card from this deck. This is the Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle deck by John Holland. Spirit, who is the collective's future spouse? Starting with group 1, please. Let's do 2 more shuffles. This deck is a little frigid because I haven't used it in a while. And we're not going to take reversals in this deck either. So for group 1, who is group 1's future spouse? For group 1, we have the Nurture card coming out, which is also the Empress card in this deck. Group 2, oh, that was quick. We have the Sadness and Isolation card, which is also the 3 of Swords in this deck. For group, we're just going to take, oh geez, I think I've got to take both of them for group 3. We have Sacral Chakra, and we have Seek, which is the Hermit card in this deck. So that's group 3. And for group 4, please, Spirit, we have the Solar Plexus Chakra coming out for group 4. Let me readjust everything so that it all fits, and I'm also going to choose a little crystal that I feel resonates with each of the groups, and then we'll come back. Okay, I think we're recording again. Let me just really check. Yeah, okay. I have the camera tripod really high, so I couldn't see. Now, as you can see, we've got the crystals, we've got a crazy synchronicity, which I didn't realize until I had gotten the crystals. 3 of the groups have the number 3 on them, and then group 3 itself has the number 11 when you add 9 and 2. So whether you're attracted to the numerology, whether you're attracted to the symbols on the cards, whether you're attracted to the words on the cards, you may be attracted to the colors, the shapes of the crystals, When you know which of these 4 groups you're feeling most drawn to, click on your timestamps in the description box and the pinned comment and join me in your reading. Before we go, I do want to just quickly talk about these crystals, so skip ahead if you don't have time. Group 1, you guys have this beautiful green crystal, which I always forget what it is because honestly, I'm not as invested in knowing the names of every crystal that I own. I'm more invested in the energies that they offer. And this crystal has so much heart chakra energy about it. It has a lot of energy of healing, and it also feels very grounding to me as well. It is green in color. I know it's probably not an agate, but that's all I really know. I think it's a type of jade or jasper. But it really drew me in, and it has a very similar energy to the Empress. So that's group 1's crystal. Group 2 with the 3 of Swords, I chose the Snowflake Obsidian. And I do know about Snowflake Obsidian because I sought this crystal out with the sole idea of it being able to protect me and be a big part of filtering some of the negative energies as I read. So I think that this crystal and its properties are going to be very helpful towards group 2's reading. Group 3 with the 2 cards, I chose this very expensive piece of crystal. I can't remember what it is, but I remember that it comes from Peru, and it cost me like $145 Australian just for this little piece. And at first I was like, why would I buy a little piece of rock for that much? I'm not usually that type of person. I love it how it looks in other people's homes, but I only have a few crystals that are like huge, and I try to use them for work. So when I felt this crystal's energy the first time, it felt very ancient. It felt very primal, and the energy was almost very fiery, almost like lava, liquid movement. It makes me think of sacral chakra all the time. So that's why I chose this crystal for group 3. Group 4 with the solar plexus, I chose citrine. Whether you believe citrine is a real crystal or not, this citrine crystal is a tower, and its sole purpose in my collection is to channel positive energy, the energy of the sun, which is very similar to the solar plexus chakra, which is an energy of confidence, movement, and being able to take action without fear. The citrine crystal brings a lot of up and go to my readings, and it's honestly the energy in tandem with some of the other beautiful crystals that I have that keeps me going when I open one of these big readings. And that's why I chose it for group 4. So that's the meaning behind the crystals, their selection, and a little behind the scenes of why I chose them. When you know which of these 4 groups you're feeling most drawn to, click on the timestamps and join me in your reading. So the first thing I want you to do with me is to take in 2 deep, mindful breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to focus on clearing your mind. It's natural to have thoughts racing at this point. I want you to embrace each thought as it comes and let it slip as quickly as it came in. Focus on clearing and balancing out these thoughts so that they come and go without a desire to be attached to them. And now, with a rested mind, I want you to think of the first group that comes to your mind. It may be a number, it may be an object that I showed you. It could be a specific color, it could be a feeling that you felt when I showed you each of the groups today. When you are ready and when you feel confident, select your group and join me in your reading. Hi, my group ones. If you chose this nurture card or this beautiful green crystal down here, then this is going to be your reading with me today. We're asking Spirit, who is your future spouse? And the main goal behind this part 2 reading in this series is to get characteristics, personality traits, and information on how this person's friends and family would describe them to help you identify who your future spouse is. Now, if you want to know more about how you can identify them in the early stages of dating, part 1 to this series is probably ideal for you to watch or rewatch. In part 2, this is going to help you understand who they are as a person throughout your relationship as well. So with this Empress energy being here, it's clear to me that your future spouse is somebody who's very caring, very loving, very maternal. Now, for some of you, your future spouse may be feminine or female as an identity, but they definitely have these characteristics and qualities that makes people think that they're very giving, very nurturing. They're also coming across as somebody who's quite abundant, as in they have a lot of what most people would want, but it may not be in a materialistic way. While the Empress does embody materialistic success, she also embodies strong core values and sentimental value. This person's nature is very sentimental, and they're very attached to the little things as much as the big moments. While they may have a bougie flair with the Taurus influences behind this card, the Venusian aspect says that they take pride in knowing that what they are attached to and what they're working on has value that is deeper than just the surface. I believe that this person enjoys doing work that is meaningful. They are probably very project focused. They can't do menial tasks. They have to feel like what they're doing has purpose towards a bigger picture. And when they find a job that they enjoy doing, due to the sense of community that they have as well, and due to the fact that they feel valued within the workplace by what they are kind of offering or being offered financially, they're likely to stick to it for a long time. They're somebody who values commitment and they value time. Because of that, they don't like to waste time. Their qualities are that they enjoy the time of the people around them, and they want to feel like the people around them are enjoying their time too, which kind of tells me that when you meet this person and as you get to know them, you're going to see them as somebody who definitely was either waiting for you or knows a good thing when they see it. And having this person's attention, whether you're a lover or a friend or a family member, generally means a lot. It usually means that this person sees value in you. And whether you are a person who's lacking in self-esteem or not, that is a very beautiful realization about this person's attention, because they see value in you for many different reasons. Now, I have a feeling that this person's energy is a lot more kind of quiet. We're going to pull more cards, but I'm getting more of like a subdued nature. They're probably not the loudest person in the room, but they do leave a strong impression. This person definitely takes care of themselves and they tickle people's senses when they're around them. So I'm guessing that this person has like a perfume or a cologne that is really strong and that people remember when they're around them. I have a feeling that this person's hair is also striking. They don't have to have a lot of hair, but the Empress embodies fertility and personal care. So whatever they do to their body is noticed. They may even be bald, but they make their bald head look good. You know what I mean? People see this person's skin, hair, nails, and they think, wow, this person takes care of themselves. They keep everything tight and put together. That doesn't mean that they don't have shadow attributes. The shadow attributes of this kind of energy can be that at times, because they put such high standards on themselves, they can experience burnout and they need their moments to just be lazy and recharge and rest and have a slow Sunday. This person thrives on routine, and if their routine is disrupted, they do feel a little lost. They lose their sense of purpose, they lose their sense of self, and you start to see this beautiful picture of personal care unravel a little bit. If this person were to lose their job or were to kind of have a really up in the air casual routine where they work nights, days, mornings, evenings, you'll notice that this person's mental health and well-being suffers. They thrive on consistency of knowing when and where they're expected to be. That doesn't mean that they're rigid and stuck in their ways. Although as they get older, you may notice that they're a little more stubborn than they were in their youth. And this is something that those who have known them from a young age are also going to notice. This is mostly around things that they feel are heavily tied to their identity. If they have a specific hobby or a specific routine that they feel is a big part of who they are today, they will not compromise on allocating time towards that. They need to do it because they don't want to lose their sense of self. And that's where we see a little bit of stubbornness come through. When it comes to compromise, in general, I feel like this person is open and diplomatic. They want to hear all information before they figure out where they stand in conflict. But they also know themselves well enough to know kind of what they would think as they're listening to the early information. This also means that this person, because they tend to have strong opinions that are self-formed, they may come across as someone who other people are a bit afraid of due to their status as well. Other people may be like, oh, I can't really tell this person my deepest, darkest secrets, because as much as I know that they're compassionate and nurturing, I also know that they hold themselves to such a high standard. So how are they going to think of me if that's how they see themselves? Being friends with this person and being close to them means that you have to be able to see through the layers, through the external layers and into their sentimental core. This person values people who can be patient with them and who can get to know them for who they truly are, not just for their appearances, not just for this public image which seems quite put together and abundant. This kind of person would make an ideal parent as well. So if they don't choose to have children, I'd be very surprised if they don't have animals or hobbies and interests that involve daily care. This is someone who does really well with day-to-day attentiveness, and their energy naturally gravitates towards situations and relationships that require a lot of attention and care. Taurus lovers tend to be very attentive, very kind of focused on their partner. And when they lose their sense of self, it's up to their partners to be like, hey, thank you, but you really need to just handle your own business. You need to take care of yourself before you worry about me. So aside from being a wonderful parent, I'm also getting this energy of this person being self-made in some way. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in their life they do have their own business or their own way of making money. They may not call it a business. They could be a contractor who kind of works on their own terms. They have this ability to put together their own financial security in a way that is very controlled by them, in a way that can offer them a certain amount of flexibility to allow their lifestyle to be at the forefront of their life. This is something they're going to struggle with when they're younger, but as they get older, they'll learn how to have a more even and balanced lifestyle in tandem with how they earn their money. So that's what I'm seeing with that card. I feel like I've done a lot of talking on this card. So I just want to close by pointing out some key themes that I'm noticing. This person's favorite color may be purple, and they may have an inclination towards blue objects. They may not say, my favorite color is blue, but when you notice what this person wears and the way that they could drive a blue car, for example, the way they live, it seems to be heavily connected to the color blue. But because of their mindset, they may not like to say blue's my favorite color. They may say yellow's my favorite color or green's my favorite color, because those colors seem to be a little bit more kind of positive and energetic than a blue color. I believe this person has some sort of beautiful relationship with the natural world. No matter where they live and how modernized their lifestyle may be, there's an aspect of them that is very connected to their instincts, and it draws them back to nature from time to time. This person thrives in environments where they're able to be instinctual and natural, where they're able to have their feet on the ground and their head in the clouds. Not physically, but like just surrounded by natural resources. And I have a feeling that some of your best memories in your coupling are going to involve getaways in nature, getaways on, maybe you're not an ocean person, but that involve natural environments. And that's where you get to see a much more grounded version of this person, a much more relaxed version of this person, someone who has an adventurous side as well. So that's what I'm seeing with the Empress. Let's get some characteristics now from the Destiny cards. Spirit, for my group ones. What characteristics does their future spouse embody? We have action. Characteristics does group one's future spouse embody? We got a bit too many cards. I'm going to shuffle it again. What characteristics does group one's future spouse embody, Spirit? Okay. Oh, excuse me. We have honesty. Absolutely. I forgot to say that with Venus people. They're usually very honest. We also have balance. Oh, I'm hearing when it suits them. Okay, that was not meant to be a read. Libra and Taurus, you're very honest when it suits you. I don't think that's fair. I think that like anyone with strong Venus placements, they value honesty. So if they feel like they're in a situation where people aren't being honest to them, then they use that to their advantage to navigate in a way that suits them. So I don't know, am I just being a scapegoat? Am I just covering somebody's tracks here? Anyway, that could be my sunny disposition at the moment. We have compassion at the back of the deck. Is it going to fit down here? If I move the card up, it will. A little bit? Okay. So, look at these characteristics, you guys. And at the back of compassion was care. This is a very sweet, devoted, adoring, compassionate person. And the people who get the chance to be loved by this person will honestly get to see this person thrive and grow on into a very, I want to say self-sufficient individual, but there's something about the way that they love that makes you feel wanted and seen. This isn't somebody who isolates themselves in their success. This isn't somebody who needs to blossom alone. They thrive with companionship, and your companionship is really going to bring out some beautiful qualities in this person's personality. So let's talk about what I'm seeing here. We have action, honesty, balance, fun, and compassion. I can see that this person does have an adventurous side. I can see that this side of them is someone who likes to keep busy. They're likely to have lots of little hobbies or projects that they like to do in their free time. When they're on. Like their personality just goes from 0 to 100. And it happens in a way where this person is very dependable. If you need something done, this is the person to ask. If you need a favor, this is the person to ask. And the people who do rely on this person do so knowing that they're going to pull it off. I feel like this is the kind of person that likes to say yes before they say no. They like to really think about it and go, yes, I'd love to be able to do that for you. Let me just think about how I can figure that out, because they're honest. I don't have it all worked out yet, but I would love to be able to do that for you. Let me think about it and I'll give you a call back. And then if it's really impossible, then they'll call back and go, I'm so sorry. I really wanted to do that for you, but I've just realized it conflicts with the schedule that I have with my son or with my significant other. The only reason they would say no is if it compromises a relationship that they have with someone else that they truly love. But this person loves keeping busy in their free times. When they're not decompressing and in one of their lazier moods. They love to keep busy. They love to be on the go. The honesty is really beautiful as a characteristic. It means that they're going to be very honest with you as well. This person is likely to be clear on who they are and what they want from the beginning, even if they don't fully know that. They're going to be honest. They're going to say, look, this is where I'm at the moment in life. This is what I want. This is what I think I can do. And this is how I feel about you. Now, this honesty is always going to be delivered with compassion. They're not brutally honest. They're not honest to the point where you're like, dang, I really wish you would just stop talking. I really wish you just didn't tell me. That's not going to happen. They're going to be honest with compassion. They're going to say, look, this is the truth. And they're going to deliver it with a sweetness, with a kindness, which I think is really beautiful. Honestly, I can see why this person would make such a good parent. They teach the values of empathy, patience, and understanding. And that is very pivotal in how the two of you may experience conflict throughout your relationship as well. They're going to be patient, compassionate, and empathetic, as well as understanding. Balance makes sense. It makes sense as a characteristic because we did talk about how this person thrives on routine. And in their younger years, they may struggle with balancing out their responsibilities, with their hobbies, with their lifestyle, with their self-care. That seems to be a big part of them learning more about who they are in their younger years, like their formative years. But the person that you're going to grow with and love will have that understanding. They will know how much of themselves to dedicate towards their career, how much of themselves to dedicate towards extended family, and how much of them to dedicate towards themselves in order to be the best version of themselves that they can be in their relationship with you. They're going to know how to balance that. And because of that, this person does have beautiful leadership qualities, but I feel like more often than not, they're not everybody's go-to person to lead. They're usually the person that people call when they're stuck, but they're not the first person that comes to mind as a leader because their personality is a little more subdued. They like to kind of be a wallflower a little bit. The fun energy is really cute. I don't think everybody gets to see this. I think some people would assume that either this person's a bit too serious or they're too busy or they're just, in their own little world. But their loved ones, including you, know that this person has a fun side to them, a side that loves to laugh, that enjoys humor and comedy, a side to them that can get loud, that can fill a room with laughter, and a side to them that seeks exciting moments and opportunities to have fun. I think that this person knows how to keep their head down and focus on the task at hand, but they thrive in lifestyles that offer balance, that offer a bit of both, a serious time and a fun time. And you're going to have a lot of fun moments with this person as well. So let's have a look at how their family and friends would describe them now. Put that to the side. How would group one's future spouses, family and friends describe them, Spirit? How would group one's future spouses, family and friends describe them? Okay, we have snake. How would group one's future spouses, family and friends describe them. We have the Ace of Cups. Where are you? There you are. I'm going to use some story die as well. How would group one's future spouses, family and friends describe them? Okay. And I'm just going to pull a wild card. How will my viewers, family and friends describe their future spouse? How will my viewers? So your family and friends would describe your future spouse as the Rose Quartz card. And we're going to talk about that first. But before we do, I've figured it out. So I'm going to speak it into existence. If this reading has resonated for you, my group ones, I'm going to open your extended reading by having a look at your love languages. We're going to have a look at how you and your future spouse love each other, what their love languages will be, what your love languages will be, how you are going to build this relationship up into that feeling of trust, nurturing it into a long-term commitment. And through that, we may get a better understanding of the potential challenges and advice on how to overcome that as well. So if that sounds interesting, the link to your extended readings are going to be in your pinned comment in the description box below as well. Make sure you select the right group before you pay your group 1 of the part 2 series, Who is Your Future Spouse? So looking at how your family and friends describe this person, this message is mostly saying that this person is good for you. Your family and friends are going to say that this person is really good for you because they're different. They're different to the other people that you've dated. And whether you've dated one other person or whether you've had to unfortunately go through that dating wheel, multiple times, too many times, your family and friends are going to really enjoy the fresh feeling that they get as they get to know your future spouse. They are going to describe this person as someone who is different, someone who's unique, someone who's really friendly, someone who offers a unique perspective in their community. They're going to see this person as someone who may be different, like from a different background or from a different sort of group in terms of they grew up differently, but they fit in because they take time to understand you and to get to know what this friendship relationship means to you. Each of your families and friends are going to have different relationships with this person. You're going to have some people who are really close to you, therefore they get to see a lot of your future spouse. And then you're going to have other family and friends who only kind of get to see this person every now and then. Overall, the reception feels positive. They're going to feel like this person is very loving, that this person loves you, and that's the main thing. Even if their experiences with this person are limited, that's what it comes down to. This person genuinely loves our loved one, and that's the main thing. They're going to be very aware of the fact that you and your future spouse do have key differences. There's certain things about the two of you that don't quite line up, in that you do kind of have enough differences to where your loved ones are like, wow, how does that work behind closed doors? And on the other hand, the differences are so complementary. They keep saying this person is so good for you because they offer you stability, they offer you security, they offer you love. And from that strong foundation, you are ideally able to build a successful future. And a lot of your loved ones are going to see that from the beginning of your relationship. I'm getting a bit teary. So I think that you'll have some people be so happy for you that they just want to cry. And that's the general consensus, is that from the beginning they can see that this connection is very different to other people that you've dated, and that it does have long-term potential. It has long-term potential written all over it. And I can sense that you're going to have loved ones get really excited about your future, almost projecting their own ideas onto you and what they think that you should kind of focus on in your future. So that could be something that's a little tricky. You might have to be like, whoa, calm down, Auntie Zelda. Like, love that you're so excited, but it's my future. Like, let me plan it for myself. I'm going to choose when and where to cross that bridge when it comes to it. So that's what I'm seeing in terms of your loved ones. Let's have a look at your future spouse's loved ones now. Your future spouse's loved ones see this person as someone that deserves true love. They see their loved one as someone who deserves somebody who deserves them, if that makes sense. Like, they're going to say, you know, my brother, my son, my cousin, my best friend deserves someone who deserves them. They deserve true love. They deserve somebody who gives as much as they give. And they deserve somebody who believes in love in the way that they believe in love. A lot of people would describe this person as a romantic, as a more sensitive soul, and as somebody who's really a little bit old-fashioned in that way. They believe in fairy tales. They believe in love at first sight. They believe in people being able to just fall in love the old-fashioned or the natural way. And they believe with the Ace of Cups that they have a lot of love to give. And that's going to make me cry as well. You guys may have really had to kind of overcome some tricky challenges in love before you come into union with each other, because this person has people in their corner that sees them as such a catch. They see them as somebody who deserves all the love, and they deserve someone who's going to recognize how much love they have to give. This person's loved ones definitely see this person as a giver, as someone who is likely to get hurt in love because of how much they give, because of how naive they are with their experiences in love. And I feel like their loved ones see them as someone who kind of bears it all, puts their heart on their sleeve. So they want them to have a fresh start in love, a fresh new beginning that they deserve. Outside of that, there's a lot of beautiful values associated with the Ace of Cups, which is what we saw with the Empress as well. Your future spouse's loved ones see them as a patient, understanding, compassionate, caring, devoted, loving person. And they know that they can turn to this person for that kind of connection if they need to. This person's family and friends also see them as someone who's very understanding. And this level of understanding, with the snake being here, comes from a mindset that may have been forged through experience, but it's this mindset of what goes around comes around. I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to chase anything. I'm going to try. And if I don't succeed, I'm just going to trust the process. With this snake energy, there's this really relaxed nature to this person, and it comes through when they give advice. Their advice is about the bigger picture. Their advice is about patience, is about choosing the more grounded route while also being level-headed and practical. This person tells their family and friends, put yourself first, but remember how your actions impact those around you. What goes around comes around. And they practice a lot of patience and understanding. So some of their family connections and friendships may have endured cycles of hardship and challenges. They may have had falling outs with certain family members or friends. But through time and through their mindset of patience and understanding, they're always open towards reconciliation when the time is right. They're always open towards overcoming those challenges if it aligns. And I believe with this snake energy, this idea of treat others the way that you want to be treated is another part of what makes them an ideal parent. If they don't have children, Their family and loved ones really want them to. They really want them to have that experience of raising their own children and imparting these values on their own children. And if they don't have a physical child, like a human child, then they're going to exhibit these qualities in any other creations they create in their lifetime. This snake energy is very big picture focused through taking action in your present and surrendering when needed as well. So with this snake energy being here, I feel like the older people in this person's life, whether they are friends or family, truly admire this person and respect this person for the way that they show up and for this mindset that they have. The older people in this person's life would say, this person has every reason to be spiteful or to hold a grudge or to be angry, but instead they've managed to just swallow their pride and keep on keeping on. And there's something really respectful about that. There's people in this person's corner who can't help but just feel really like they really look up to this person. They admire this person. I'm hearing for their guts, for how this person sticks to their values. It's a little rare, that's for sure. Now, having a look at these story dice, we get some other clues of how this person's loved ones describe them. This person's loved ones see this person as someone that has a lot of potential. They're a doer. They set a goal and they strive to achieve it. This person is kicking goals, which means that their loved ones see them as someone who is good at getting themselves out of hardship and challenges. They don't give up easily. They set their mind towards something and they achieve it. And they kind of make it look easy, mostly because they don't always share their struggle. Now, with this one up here, their loved ones are going to say that they're so proud of this person for being able to stand up for themselves, for being able to cut out habits, connections, and any other attachments that weren't good for them. This person has been able to be successful because they weren't too attached to toxicity. They got out of a situation, in specifically one situation, that wasn't good for them. And they ended it, and they were able to move forward, evolve, and focus on what is best for them. Now with this one down here, I've got to take a better look at it, but it looks like someone is trying to push something over. Can you guys see that? You probably see it better than me. I'm supposed to be wearing glasses, but my glasses haven't come yet. So let me just see what we're looking at here. I really have to focus. It's like they're pushing something over. Their family members would describe this person as someone who doesn't give up easily. I feel like this is someone who they're afraid gets pushed over because of their kindness, because of their patience, because of how sweet they are, how lovely they are, how sweet-tempered and sweet-natured they are. Their family and friends worry about them getting taken advantage of in those situations. So that is what I'm seeing for you, my group ones. Is there anything else we need to cover in this reading, Spirit? We're going to talk in part 3 about how you two are going to meet, and we're going to get advice on how you can align with your future spouse, what you should be working on leading up to your future spouse, just so that your energy attracts this person into your life as quickly as possible. But in part 2, I think we've covered who this person is, their characteristics, and how their loved ones would describe them, with that wild card of how your loved ones would describe them as well. So I'm going to end your reading here. We're going to go into your extended, where we will have a look at how the two of you love each other, having a look at your future spouse's love language, and having a look at your love language as well. If you'd like to join me in the extended reading, the link to the extended readings is in the description box and the pinned comment. That link will take you to my website where I host my extendeds, so make sure you select the right group and the right reading. Swipe across if you're on a mobile device to make sure you've selected the right reading. Or if you're on a desktop, you can just scroll. It's a lot easier on a desktop device, or you could have a look at the desktop version if that makes it easier as well. Anyway, with that spiel out of the way, thank you for all of your time, your energy, and your support right here on YouTube. It's been an absolute pleasure to exchange energy with you. Thank you for trusting me with these messages and for being a part of my community. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, maybe consider joining the family and subscribing. But until our paths cross again, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Bye for now. Hi Group 2 and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Sadness and Isolation card or this Snowflake Obsidian Crystal, then this is going to be your reading, sweet soul. Now your card, look, if you're familiar with tarot, you know that this is a card that certainly makes people a little anxious. It's a card that a lot of people don't like to get. But I just want to be clear that tarot has no bad cards. We just have cards that help us understand transitions, changes, themes, and chapters. And the Three of Swords is definitely a card that tells us a lot about who your future spouse is. When it comes to their personality, this is someone who wants to expand. They are someone who has been hurt. They've been through heartbreak. They've been through sorrow, and they want to grow beyond that. Much like this oracle card, they're not stuck in that feeling, in that position. They're wanting to elevate beyond it, and they're seeking answers to be able to expand their mind frame, to be able to expand their experiences, their opportunities, and their heart space. My threes always represent some form of expansion, and the Three of Swords is about expanding your mind so that your heart can follow. It means that we still have hard feelings about the circumstances we've been through. We still feel either like a victim or as though we have to process things emotionally. But instead of staying stuck and still in those feelings, we're mentally preparing ourselves for better futures by telling ourselves that we deserve more and telling ourselves that, you know what, I'm not just going to sit in this, I'm going to elevate beyond it. Now, this Three of Swords says that this person is someone who's probably used to going through disappointments, loss, and heartbreak. Because this is not just a theme that is relevant to when you meet them, this is relevant to who they are as a person. That means that this is somebody who's used to picking themselves up. They're used to being able to try to find the positive, and they're used to dealing with cold, hard facts and reality checks. This person is probably someone who feels as though the universe didn't give them anything. They did. They worked hard for any success or goodness that they experienced. And in that way, you may find that they're more logical rather than idealistic. This person, if they do have faith or a spiritual sort of thread that runs through them, they rely more on their actions and their logic than they do their faith. They may believe that manifestation is more about action and creation rather than wishing and hoping. And, you know, technically that isn't wrong. I just think that this person's mindset is very fixated on what they can do in a situation. And because of that, they come across as someone who's very good at looking after themselves and who's very protective of the people that they're close with, because they want to be able to understand how they can be a part of that person's success. When this person really loves and cares, they care with their whole heart, and they care in a way that is extremely vulnerable, and they don't do that easily. So I feel like this person as a partner is definitely somebody who maybe puts you through a few tests first. They want to know that they're safe. They want to know that when they give themselves to you, that's not something that's taken for granted. and they want to know that they're putting their trust in the right person. So this isn't somebody who opens up easily, and they may use certain things as a defense mechanism, as like an outer layer of protection. And the first thing that comes to mind is comedy. This person could have a very fierce comedic bone that is really good at lightening a situation or deflecting a situation, or even just sort of making light of a really dark experience, mostly because they don't want everyone to think that they are their experiences. If this person has been through some really tragic stuff, they elevate it beyond that, and they live life wanting more for themselves and for those that they care about as well. I wouldn't be surprised if this person came from quite bad struggle. I'm getting hints of like a really turbulent upbringing, but the Three of Swords could also just mean that they haven't had the best experiences in love. This person could have been single for a very, 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 very long time, or they could have had an experience in love that really conditioned them to want to just go inward and to not want to trust again. So it's taken them quite a while before they met you to feel like they can trust somebody with their heart space. But in reference to their upbringing, I can see how this person may have had questionable experiences with adults in their life that they should have been able to trust as a child, because it feels like this person's inner child has to do a lot of healing as an adult, especially in their 20s. This person's inner child takes a long time to realize how they've been subconsciously impacted by the actions of the adults in their life. So there's something here about trust that is really important to this person, as well as honesty. This person may have felt like the people that they should have trusted lied to them a lot and used language that was really belittling or like minimizing of serious situations, when this person would have preferred to have just gotten the facts. It kind of reminds me of how some people really talk down to children, and so this can come from a good place of wanting to protect that child and not wanting to put a responsibility of heavier themes on a child. But it's like this person saying, I knew that we were struggling, I knew that we were homeless, or that we didn't have anything to eat that night. I just wish my mom, my dad, my grandparent would have told me that, instead of making me live this fantasy. And that's just because of how this person's brain works. They love facts, they love information, because then they can take that information and react to it accordingly. This person believes that they are incredibly capable. They're incredibly capable of changing a negative into a positive. And that's not because they're optimistic, that's because they're realistic. They think that you need to know things in order to do things. So it's a very interesting frame of mind, and I wouldn't be surprised if this person is educated, because they seem to be someone that's very well read. So they seem to be very intelligent, and there's the smarts about them that may not necessarily be academic. I'm hearing street smarts, book smart. Like, this person may really enjoy facts or just gaining information through a variety of sources, again, because they are realistic. And because they like to know things, to be able to educate themselves and understand themselves better. Most of this person's awareness of self could have come through the research that they've done, rather than gaining information from a professional. They may have sought out that information themselves through many different sources to be able to feel better equipped with communicating their needs and identifying their needs, and better transitioning away from subconscious attachments to trauma. So this person comes across as quite educated in that way. Now, in terms of how you would interpret this, sometimes this person is a bit too proud to ask for help with the Three of Swords. Sometimes they're somebody who needs some time to just process things, especially when things have been going a certain way for so long. they take it as their responsibility to be able to fix things. And there's going to be certain circumstances you're put in as a couple where, you know, this didn't happen because somebody didn't do enough. This happened because life happens. It was unexpected, and you may gatekeep that information because you're like, man, my partner's going to take this very personally, and it's going to be a burden that they're going to bear. So I'm just going to try to figure out what we can do before I bring the information to them. And they're going to be, I wouldn't say that they're going to find that hard, because they're going to kind of understand that. Again, this person is very intelligent. They're going to go, wow, like, I see why you did that. And they're going to think to themselves, well, how can I, you know, work on this trait within myself, instead of just fixating on it and making it a problem in our relationship to the point where my partner doesn't want to tell me anything. So they're very reactive. This is someone that likes to know things so that they can improve things, at least on their part. Because of that, I feel like this person has a really interesting way of engaging with other people. I think that because they are someone that's been made to pull themselves out of a lot of struggle, they may struggle to actively support other people in their life. They may assume that everybody has this ability within them, and that, you know, if you just are given the right amount of time and the right amount of pressure, like, everybody can be this self-sufficient, this self-healing. And they may not be able to understand why certain people need community and need to talk about things with others and need to heal things with others. Because this person's done a lot of that by themselves, they may find it a bit uncomfortable going through that process with other people. And so if they have friends or family, or if your friends or family disclose certain things to them, they may be a little uncomfortable, and they may be like, well, what are you going to do about it? That may be their response. Because while this person is someone who cares very deeply, they also believe that the amount of support they can give others is very limited. I think that this person has a lower threshold because they've spent a significant amount of time in survival mode in their life. They've come to realize that they really only have enough oxygen in their tank for themselves and for, you know, one or two other people. So anyone outside of that, kind of, they deflect that back onto them. They go, look, that's really difficult. I'm sorry you're going through that. I can't help you right now. Like, I'm really need to prioritize myself and my immediate family. And it may be something that, you know, if you come from a family where you talk about everything, you do everything together, everything is on the table for discussion, that may be a bit difficult for this person to fully grasp and understand. They may think that it's a bit counterproductive. They may say things like, well, you know, you're kind of enabling your sister because you're always there to help her instead of letting her help herself and giving her the chance to really try to figure it out for herself. And, you know, that's where that intelligence and realistic mindset comes from, because there is an aspect of them saying that will make you go, well, yeah, I know you're right, but that's just not how we do things in my family. We do things for each other and together. So that's one thing that I'm seeing come through as maybe a conflict, depending on what your support system is like, what your sense of community is like, and how you troubleshoot those bigger issues. This person is incredibly self-sufficient, and while it's not the best model all the time, they are often quick to, you know, rely on themselves and not quick enough to ask for help. It seems to be what's helped them get to where they are when they met you. So they know that it's not a perfect way of doing things, but it's been good enough to get them this far. And look, this is somebody who has had to deal with some very dark themes in life for the Three of Swords to be here. So it is kind of a bit of a miracle that they have lived long enough to be able to come into union with you. And I think that you two will have a deep respect and understanding for the way that you operate and for how you are and what your natures are as well. So with that being said, we're going to pull some Destiny Oracle cards. They're little cards that tell us characteristics about your future spouse, just in one word, to help us pinpoint any information that I may have overlooked when divinating from that Three of Swords. So Spirit, for my group 2s, what is their future spouse's characteristics? What is their future spouse's key characteristics? The first card that is coming out is the Care card. What is group 2's future spouse's characteristics? Okay, we have Clarity. Group 2's future spouse's characteristics, please, Spirit. We have Honesty. I'm seeing a lot of correlation to what I was pulling before, which is really good. And we also have Humility. At the back of the deck is Leadership. Let me just check to see that we're all in frame. Okay, cool. We can probably actually move that up a little bit. There we go. So, pretty cool what we're seeing here. As you know from the intro, the number 3 was pretty prominent in at least 3 groups. But I can see how you guys have that strong mental connection to number 3. Your future spouse is definitely a thinker and an innovator in that way. They don't like to feel as though they have no options. They don't like to feel as though there's no turning back. This is someone that loves to explore and is curious and, you know, always has a solution, which makes them an incredible partner. And it also makes them a wonderful leader to have in your corner. I feel like this person stumbles into leadership. I don't think it's something that they necessarily feel good about. I think that because they're so resourceful and I want to say self-sufficient, they kind of attract a lot of attention for that. And a lot of people look at them and go, wow, like, you look at what you've been able to do. It's really impressive. I really like that. I want to be able to do that too. And from that space, they attract a lot of attention from people who see them as a leader. But I don't think this person actively seeks leadership roles unless it's to expand their specific goals. I think this is the kind of person that would want to be successful with their finances. As soon as they have a partnership with you, they would want to be successful enough to be able to create the lifestyle that you're both seeking. You know, they take whatever responsibilities they seem to have quite seriously because they don't like to feel like they've let themselves down, let alone they've let down the trust that others have in them. Trust is a big thing. And I think because of that, they accidentally are very highly valued by people around them, and they may really downplay it. They may go with this humility card, look, I don't know how it happened. I was just there at the right time and I put in the right amount of work, and now I'm the operations manager within the distribution center, when I just started as a shift worker picking up casual shifts. And you know, I put my hand up and said I want a more permanent role, and then, you know, within 3 or 4 years, I'm running the whole thing. So they're quite humble with the process, but it's quite obvious to people who do rely on this person that they're honest, that they do their best, and that when they make a mistake, they talk about it. They don't just pretend it never happened, and they don't just try to kind of go, oh, you know, like that wasn't me, that was someone else. Like, they've got a strong backbone, and that really shows through, which is why I think they get into these leadership positions. Outside of that, humility is also a reflection of this person's past experiences. They are very good at looking at things in, yes, a black and white space of maybe right and wrong, but they're also good at looking at things from a space of, well, you know, what happened is what happened. And I wouldn't say they downplay things, But when it comes to their capabilities, it's like they had to do what they had to do. It was no big deal, but it's kind of why they're here today, you know? So like the actions are not a big deal. It's the fact that they were able to get out of it that is a big deal to them. The level of perseverance that was required within them is not a big deal, but the fact that they're no longer living like that is a big deal. And so there's humility around the way that they operate, and there's a lot of humility around the way that they were able to overcome things in their past. I want to say that when it comes to future success, that's how you're really going to see the humility come through in your relationship. This person doesn't like to be the center of attention. They may be comedic. They may know how to kind of talk in a way that's very charming at times. But I feel like their social battery runs out quite quickly. And in your partnership, they're more likely to want to kind of build you up. And if you're in a social situation, they're kind of going to bring the attention back to you and say like, look, this is what my beautiful partner's doing at the moment. This is what my incredible other half is up to. And, you know, I'm really just in the background sort of kicking rocks and digging holes and following orders. They really like to kind of just be seen as sort of useful, but not the main event in a social situation. Now, looking at care and clarity over here, these are beautiful aspects to see in a future spouse. This tells us that this person's core means that they have a beautiful heart, they have an empathetic heart, and, you know, that care energy means that that's where we see boundaries as well. This person is only capable of so much, and they know that about themselves. So they will honestly tell you if they don't have the ability to help you or support you in the way that they want to. And that's hardly going to happen with you, my viewer, as this person's future spouse. It is more likely to happen with your extended family. If your, you know, brother, cousin, even mother at times was to say, hey, I heard you're pretty handy with this, would you be able to give me a hand? If this person is having a week where they're feeling really stretched thin, they're going to honestly turn around and say, look, I would love to. Yes, I'm very good at that. But, you know, this week is just not a good week for me. I'm feeling really run down. I'm feeling as though I'm barely getting through my work as it is. Can we take a rain check and try to figure something out later in the week? That's how they approach those situations. So there's a lot of care in the way that they communicate, and there is a lot of love in their heart. But again, that could be perceived or taken the wrong way in a family dynamic that is used to hearing yes. If you come from a background where, you know, the default answer is yes, until somebody taps you out and says, look, nah, I can tell that you're exhausted, please go home, then that's going to be hard to process. But if you're very supportive of the way that this person is able to identify boundaries and their own needs, then this is not going to be a problem in your relationship. Like I said, this person has a big heart, but they know through their experiences that they need to put the oxygen mask on themselves first when the plane is going down. So with this clarity card here, just another little message. When it comes to characteristics, this person is always wanting to deal with facts. They don't like passive communication. They don't like passive aggression. They don't like anything to be sort of left up in the air. They want to know where they stand. They want to know what they're dealing with, and they want to deal with facts, honesty, and clarity, which tells me that this person is big on communication, and they're big on communicating for solutions, not communicating over little things, not communicating for the sake of, you know, proving a point, but communicating because we need to kind of find a way to get through this, or we need to find a way to agree to disagree if that's the case. This clarity means that this person is always hungry for knowledge, and that's where it can be a bit annoying. They may always want to know things, and it's like, come on, man, like, can we just go and have lunch? Why do you need to know how that bus works just because it runs off of, you know, solar energy? this person's mind is very curious and they love to understand things. And I think that that's going to really draw you into this person in the beginning. But there may be a time in your relationship where you're like, oh, that's so annoying. Like, I just wanted to go and buy something from the markets, and now you're having a conversation with the stall holder about how they started their business because you've never seen anything like it. So yeah, I think these are all positives. We're going to get an understanding now of how this person's friends and family see them, which may be able to tell us, where some of the lesser attractive qualities lie. So let's have a look. What deck should I use? I feel like for someone like this, I need to use a very cut and dry deck. So we might just stick to the traditional Rider-Waite deck to really tune into this person's energy. This person may have a really close relationship with a mother figure in their life. It could include an auntie or a grandmother, but the women in their life seem to be very important in shaping this person's empathy and their ability to communicate their feelings. So Spirit, how would this person's loved ones describe them? We have the 9 of Pentacles reversed. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and then I'll bring you back down so I can see what's happening. How would this person's loved ones describe them, Spirit? We have the 9 of Cups upright. How would this person's loved ones describe them? We have the Page of Pentacles, and at the back of the deck, whoopsie daisy, is the 6 of Swords. And from a different deck, I'm going to ask Spirit how your family members and your loved ones would describe this person. How would my viewers' loved ones describe this person, Spirit? How would my viewers' loved ones describe this person? Okay, we have the High Priestess reversed. Okay, interesting energies. So I can see that your loved ones would say that this person is a little bit of an anomaly, which makes a lot of sense because a lot of the messages, sorry, I was just wiping a tear from my eye because my eye was leaking. A lot of those messages from your family could even be your friends, but we're seeing a message here of like an anomaly, like your loved ones just can't figure this person out. And at times it feels like this person is a mystery. At times it feels like this person is hard to read. And I'll be honest with you, at times your loved ones are going to be like, goodness, like, why are you with that person? They're so different and it really just doesn't make sense. With the High Priestess reversed, it's like they just want to pick this person's brains, which tells me that you may protect a lot of this person's secrets. There may be certain things about this person's past and what they've been through with that 3 of Swords that you don't tell your parents, your siblings. And it may come across as this, your family going like, well, what is it? Because we don't keep secrets in our family. But you're like, nah, I have respect and I love my partner and I'm not willing to open up about that. I'm not willing to disclose that. So with the High Priestess reversed, it's like they just can't figure them out. And they may be hoping and expecting for this person to be a different way, but it's quite clear that between the two of you, that's not the priority. It's not a priority for this person to be anyone but themselves, even in the face of your loved ones. You just want them to be themselves. The other thing that I'm seeing with the High Priestess reversed is that your loved ones may be a little bit more spiritual. They may be a little bit more kind of open and a little bit more emotional. And that may be very different to the way that your future spouse is. There's a real contrast here in expressing and in the ways that you show love and affection. You may come from a family or a group of friends who is very, open about what you're going through, who talks about their feelings and who really, lays everything out. Whereas this person's coming through as being very different to that and not wanting or needing to do that, which is something that comes through most predominantly in terms of how your loved ones describe this person. Is there any other message I may be missing, Spirit, with that High Priestess reversed? That's an interesting message. I'm hearing knowing when to let go. They see your future spouse as having a stubborn streak instead of being able to surrender things and let go. Like their quest for knowledge leads them onto the stubborn where they just need to know everything. And to be honest, they may think that your future spouse is like neurodivergent in some way because of how black and white their brain is. What else, Spirit? Letting go. Yeah, there's a lot of mystery about this person's past. So it feels like you don't tell your loved ones everything about this person's past. I don't think you're ashamed. I just think that it's a respect thing. Like you don't want to have your family and friends kind of, what's the word where you just like, you're like raking over information with the fine-tooth comb, you know, like really kind of dissecting and pulling it all apart. You don't want it to turn into that. You just want to, respect your future partner in that way. What else are we seeing? I think that's everything from your family and friends. Let's have a look at how your future spouse's family and friends see them. There's a lot of yellow here. So I think that overall, your future spouse's loved ones see them as someone who actually has a very positive outlook on life, despite whatever mystery your family sees. You know, that says a lot about where this person's come from. Their loved ones see them as someone who is quite optimistic, which says a lot about them. Your future spouse in their eyes is a happy person, a positive person, a curious person. This person loves to learn. And their close loved ones would say, you know, the whole time that I've known your partner, all I've known is that they're going places. This is someone who needs someone who can see them for who they are, love them for who they are, and who doesn't put unnecessary pressure or stress on them to change. Your future spouse's loved ones will say that this person needs people. They're too independent. They shouldn't be alone. This is someone who needs a loved one who understands them, and they deserve that. They always take care of themselves. They always make sure that their mental health is a priority, to the point where some of their family members are like, why do they worry so much about their mental health? Like, it's not even a big deal. Prioritizing their mental health is like too much of a big deal to this person. So their loved ones almost like, it's a good thing, but it's said with a bit of a judgmental tone, if I'm honest. And it's coming from masculine energies in this person's life. So this person may have lost the maternal figure who raised them by the time you're in their life. They may say, well, you know, my grandmother raised me, but unfortunately she passed away 2 or 3 years ago. With this Page of Pentacles upright, their loved ones see them as a student, as someone who is curious and desiring to learn more. They see them as an apprentice of life, as someone who has this desire to expand beyond their current circumstances. And because of that, they also see them as someone who has their head screwed on right. I believe that your future spouse may come from humble beginnings, and they may be the first in their family to really do things, the first to go to college, or the first to get a job that wasn't the same as what everybody in their family was doing. There's an energy here of humble beginnings, and their loved ones see them as the person who's going to change all of that for their family name. There's a lot of weight to their family's name as well. They may be very proud of your future spouse for being able to do things with the family name attached to it. And they really hoped that their partner, that their loved one would find a partner like you, someone who they can, work with and who can be there for them. It's like this person's loved ones was worried that they would always be alone, was worried that they would never really be able to find someone who was fully compatible with them. So they look at you as like, oh, thank God. Thank God they finally found that person that they were looking for, or that one that can put up with them, or they finally got their head out of, their own world and met someone like you. So there's a lot of excitement around you, my viewer, from their family side and their friends side. And there is a lot of excitement about what you mean to this person and this person's future. Now, is there anything else? Yes, we got to talk about the Six of Swords. That was your bottom deck energy. So when it comes to this person's loved one's point of view of them. And that really should have been the card I talked about first. Sorry, guys. It's kind of blocked by my microphone, so I didn't see it straight away. But this is the overall encompassing theme of how this person's friends, family, loved ones in general see them. They see your future spouse as a person who's focused on moving forward, as a person who's focused on finding peace, on finding harmony, and on finding that sense of stability that they didn't have in their past. Your future spouse's loved ones see this person as a socially selective person who has boundaries, who isn't afraid to tell it for what it is, and who has conversations that other people don't. This person's family may say, your partner, they're not afraid to speak straight. They're not afraid to tell it how it is. They didn't get that from me. I didn't raise them to be that way. They grew up and decided, you know what? I'm not happy with the way that things are done, and I'm going to start talking about it. And that could be something that is a little bit feared, but highly respected from within their loved ones and their little community of people who they love. It's the fact that they're not afraid to take action. They're not afraid to say something where other people would usually just bite their tongue or keep doing things the way that they've been doing. This person wasn't afraid to try something new and to take that action that ultimately meant they were leaving behind the familiar, the status quo, and they expanded beyond the comfort zone of their other loved ones. I feel that overall, with the Six of Swords, your future spouse's loved ones and extended family see this person as someone who was able to overcome, who was able to find success for themselves and create success for themselves, and who overall was able to do this because they didn't give up on themselves. They did what they said they were going to do, and they did it with a smile. So there's this overall really sweet, positive energy about this person. And even though it's like not necessarily what everybody else does, their loved ones are supportive of this person's actions. And they, by the time they get to meet you, they would say, look, we're really happy that they met you, and we're really happy that the choices and the decisions that they made in the past all led to this happening for the both of you. So there is this beautiful appreciation after a lot of confusion, because I feel like at the time that this person was speaking out and acting out, it was very hard to process for their loved ones. Their loved ones would have been like, wow, like, where is this coming from? Why are they acting like this? That's really not what we would have done. That's not the way you do things. But years down the line, it's like, okay, I can see why now. And I'm actually really grateful that you did that. There is an importance for this person's family to have a good relationship with you as well. So no matter what has happened or what they're going through, they wouldn't project that onto you. They would try to maintain a clear relationship with you, which means that you two may end up having children together, or it may be very important to this family that they always have access to their loved one through you and through the relationship that you are creating with this person. Because it may be hard sometimes for this person to want to, give their loved ones so much access to them because of the way that they are and because of the boundaries they have. They may choose not to take calls or to reply to messages because their battery's running low and they can only focus on you and the life they're creating with you. So their family is likely to reach out to you, my viewer, and say, hey, we haven't heard from so-and-so in weeks now. Are they okay? They're not responding to my calls. And that could be a little bit frustrating for you, feeling like you're in the middle. You may take it upon yourself to identify the fact that your partner isn't coping very well and reply to those messages and do what you can to support them in that way. Or you may choose to see this as a conflict and go, listen, I love you, but it shouldn't be my responsibility to tell your father or your brother or your sisters what you're doing and that you're still alive. That's something you need to do. So that's something that's coming through as a lesser attractive quality. That's really what I'm seeing for you, my group 2s. I'm going to take this into the extended reading now. For the extended readings, I didn't really mention it at the beginning for you guys, but what I decided to do is focus on your love languages. We're going to have a look at your love language, at your future spouse's love language, and how the way the two of you love each other. And then we're going to have a look, is there any challenges or potential clashes there that you should know about and that we can kind of gain some clarity on. But otherwise, it's mostly just focused on how the two of you love each other. So if that sounds interesting, if it sounds entertaining and informative, the link to your extended reading is in the description box and the pinned comment. That link does take you to a page where I host my extended readings in playlists. So swipe across if you're viewing the page on a mobile device until you find the right group and the right reading. Remember your group 2 of the Who is Your Future Spouse reading that I posted in December 2024. Thank you, sweet souls, for all of your time, energy, attention, and support right here on YouTube. It means so much that I'm still able to do this as we end one year and come to the beginning of a new year. So I appreciate your time, your support, and you being a part of that in this community. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this is where we're parting ways, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Until we meet again, bye. Hi group 3 and welcome to your reading. If you recognize this beautiful crystal right here, or these cards, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome. We're asking Spirit, who is your future spouse? And in order to gain these messages, I'm going to be pulling a few different divination tools. Technically they're all cards today actually. I wasn't sure in the intro whether I was going to do any other forms, but we're going to use heaps of different cards to help us understand your future spouse's personality, their characteristics, how their loved ones see them, and how your loved ones will see them as well. Before we get into it, I recommend that you take notes of this reading so that you're making the most out of it and writing down what resonates, while also making a little list of what doesn't resonate yet, as it may resonate at a later date. Now, there is going to be an extended reading. In that extended, will focus on you and your future spouse's love languages and essentially how the two of you are going to love each other. Pretty cute. I've loved what's come through for the other two groups, so it'll be interesting to see what comes through for you. But this is part of the spiel. To get there, we have to start here. So let's open your reading. My group 3s, Spirit, tune me into group 3's reading. Please help me to offer them the most clear, honest messages for their reading today. Now, these two cards were very interesting because they didn't want to come out by themselves. At first, I was only going to take one of these, and then I just felt like, nah, unfortunately, as much as it kind of is different to what the other groups got, you had to have these two cards.
These cards tell us who your future spouse is, how you will see them, and how most people will recognize them. I can see with the sacral chakra that this is going to be a very passionate person, a very driven, motivated person. In fact, those who look up to them may describe them as ambitious, someone who doesn't give up easily, and someone who inspires others as well. I'm hearing muse, so this person may have admirers who follow along this person's journey and are very inspired by what they've been able to create. The word create does spark some sort of creative interest as well. This person may have a connection to creativity or a connection to the arts or some sort of music that seems to be really respected and seems to gain them a lot of attention as well. I can see with the sacral chakra being here that this person is somebody that needs outlets in order to feel like their best self. They need to feel like they're doing something to express how they feel. And they may not consider themselves to be creative, but they do need outlets. They need opportunities to just be, immersed in their hobbies or their interests with little pressure and a lot of room to do whatever they want to do. This person is the kind of person that can lose track of time when they're doing one of their hobbies or their interests. And we see a different side of them as well. We see a side that is more sort of go with the flow, more relaxed, more, I want to say like bright and sunny. When they don't have this time to themselves, it is reflected in their mood. They seem to be a lot lower mood. They seem to be more irritable. They seem to be a lot more frustrated and short-tempered. So they need this time to immerse themselves in their own interests and hobbies. The sacral chakra is indicating a feminine energy within them that needs to feel connected to self through the way that they express themselves. This is the kind of person that thrives in situations where there is patience, because they're not always the loudest voice in the room. They need those around them to give them time to open up. When they do speak, I feel that they are quite impactful. It's not that they're very serious, but they are wise. What they do say with this Seek card seems to have a profound impact. They don't claim to be anybody's mentor, guardian, or teacher, but their own experiences has led them to understand certain patterns in life from a place of peace and wisdom. And that is reflected in what they say to others as advice or insight. This is the kind of person that doesn't really like to give advice. I feel like they just say things and it kind of sounds like they're implying something, but they just say it for how it is. So an example of this is, say you were venting to this person about a toxic work environment, and you were saying, like, goodness, it's just really hard for me to do my job, let alone to want to go to work every day, because I just feel anxious as soon as I walk through the door. I'm just like worried about what they're going to say or who's going to be, upset with me today. And this person may say to you, you know what, at the end of the day, life is about living, not working. And if it's that stressful, we can always figure something else out. And there's something about the way that they do it where it's very like, it kind of takes the load off you. And it may even seem a little nihilist at times, as though like this person's given up. Like you may be wanting to counter that and go, well, this is a good job. I really want this job. I need the money. It just sucks that my environment is not supportive. And they might just go, well, that's your whole answer. Like, who cares about the money? If the environment isn't supportive, how else are you supposed to grow? And that could be really hard for certain people to understand, but I feel like this person kind of thinks bigger than the material attachments. Don't get me wrong, for Seek to be here, this person knows the value of money and they know that they need money, but it's like they're able to just kind of see beyond it and go, nah, it's not worth it. At the end of the day, mental health should always take priority. And that's why I think this person is really good at giving advice, because there's something about the information. When they say their piece, it's simple, it's to the point, but you can't kind of get confused. There's no extra jargon, there's no, hidden meaning for you to have to kind of solve over time. They say it for what it is, and it's easy to follow. Now, I can't help but feel like this person may be quite overlooked socially. They don't seem to have a huge social presence around them. There may be a lot of people who know of this person because of the sacral chakra. There may be a lot of people over time who have come into contact with this person, with this seek energy here. But as it stands, you're going to realize that there's not a lot of people in this person's life. Although they seem to be popular by certain standards and they seem to know a lot of people in certain ways, they don't seem to let a lot of people close to them. This is for the most part a loner. And I don't use that word with a negative connotation. This person enjoys their own company. They're much more of an introvert, and they enjoy being surrounded by people who can understand that about them. They don't do well with demanding energies. They don't enjoy people monopolizing them either. They don't want a friendship or a relationship in their life who expects all of them, because at the end of the day, they understand that their most important relationship in their life is with themselves, and they need time to themselves to be able to give the best of themselves to those that they care about. So this person frequently isolates, enjoys their solitude, recharges alone, and prioritizes alone time as well. And there's a lot of wisdom in that as well, because they're understanding that they do better when they give themselves this opportunity to be alone. I can see with the seek energy, this person is surprisingly naturalistic as well. Another group got this message about their person, but on face value, they may not seem like a nature lover. But for this card to be here, and for the sacral chakra to be here too, the mantra with sacral chakra is flow, like water. Sacral chakra is a very passionate sexual energy, but it's more associated with the element of water than fire, because it's about flowing with your body and having that natural rhythm without pressure, without force, letting things rise and fall like water, like the tide, that flow energy. And then we have this symbolism of birds and nature. So I feel like your future spouse is actually somebody who enjoys being out in nature one way or another. They don't have to be somebody who goes camping with a swag for a whole week and lives off the land, but they are somebody who enjoys decompressing in natural environments. They may enjoy fishing. They may enjoy, going for a swim. They may enjoy being able to walk around the local park. They may enjoy keeping plants in their home. They may enjoy being around animals. There's something about nature that really helps them decompress and feel more like themselves. And this could be something that they discover later in life. There's a period in which they don't realize how important this is to them until they rediscover it about themselves at maturity. And then they recognize, wow, it's actually really important for me to be able to have this time to myself while I'm doing this activity in nature. I also think with this Seek card being here, there's something about this person where they're very good at clearing their mind, and they don't have to be an active meditator, but this person is really good at clearing their mind. Like, they're very good at emptying their thoughts and at organizing what is important and what they should be focusing on. And it's not something that I feel was taught to them. It feels self-taught. It feels like through being alone, they've learned how to manage intrusive thinking, anxious thinking, and fear-based thinking. And there's something about the way that they categorize it that is just so easy for them. But you may listen to the way they talk about this and go, how the heck do you do that? Like, that's not, no, I'm not able to do that as well. Like, that's pretty rare to be able to do. So for them, it's very like second nature. And that's why they prioritize this time alone. Now, there could be a slight age difference with these two cards as well. The Hermit card usually reflects someone who's more mature, someone who's a little bit older. But it could also mean, next to the sacral chakra, that this is an old soul. Regardless of their age, they're an old soul. And the way they talk, the way they act, makes them seem aged beyond their biological years. And while they have this feminine energy within them, they also have this hard exterior that could make them very gender typical. And I'm using gender typical because it just depends on how they identify. But this Hermit energy means that when on face value, when people see them, they almost look stereotypically accurate. Like they fit the narrative of what somebody of their background would be. And then as you get to know them, you start to see the color, the intricacies of their personality, and the sensitivities of their personality. This is a very sensitive, sweet soul. And the femininity that they possess within them is all about knowing themselves and expressing themselves the way that they want to. So that's what I'm seeing with these cards. I'm going to pull out some more oracle cards to have a look at key characteristics within their personality. Spirit, what are some key characteristics of Group 3's future spouse? What are some key? We have leadership coming out. Some key characteristics of Group 3's future spouse. We also have reflection. Group 3's future spouse, Spirit. Okay. And last but not least, actually I'm going to get one more card. We have strength. We have reliability, and at the back of the deck is harmony. Yeah, I feel like this person's personality is very complementary towards you. Even if you're listening to these characteristics and you're going, wow, that's like complete opposite to how I am. There's something about the two of you that creates a level of harmony and a feeling of synergy. Like you work well together. I think that you complement, and unless you're able to fully accept that this person is the way that they are, then you wouldn't, be harmonious. But the reason why this person is your future spouse is because the two of you acknowledge the differences as strengths. You see that as a way of being more compatible. Because if you were too similar, you'd probably get on each other's nerves a lot more. But the fact that you're different seems to make you more understanding towards each other. As a characteristic of harmony, this person's personality means that they try to get along with most people. They're very easygoing, is how I would see that. And I think that's why a lot of people may be under the impression that this person is, their friend. But this person's social circle is so small. Like, they'll be easygoing to you when they see you, but they won't want to see you outside of the environment that they know you. So this is the kind of person whose work colleagues probably assume that this is their best friend, but this person doesn't see them outside of work. And if you were to ask this person how they know that person, they'll say, oh, that's my workmate. But if you were to ask their workmate will go, oh, that's my friend, I work with him. So there's that difference there. They're very easygoing, and I don't think that they do this intentionally to exclude people. It's a way of protecting their peace, which is what we see with reflection as well. Reflection tells us that this person needs time to process their emotions, and they're very good at offering insight and advice to others, mostly because of the way that they're able to reflect on their own feelings. They have that ability to stand back and look at the bigger picture and to make things personal without making things personal. And the best way that I can break that down in an example is that this person finds the lesson in a challenge very quickly. They find the lesson, they absorb the lesson, and if they make the same mistake again, they don't beat themselves up for it. They're the first person to say, well, to err is human nature, right? It is normal and natural for us to make mistakes. But they're also somebody who is very intelligent in being able to identify the lessons in life. So that kind of allows them to be able to be somebody that gives excellent insight and information. I don't even feel like advice is the best word, because they would never expect someone to live their life anyway except for themselves. They wouldn't share advice expecting that person to do what they say. They would say, at the end of the day, it's your life, it's your journey. I believe that this is the kind of person that believes in sovereignty. This is the kind of person that believes in doing things for yourself and having the dignity to make mistakes for yourself. That's where we see leadership come through as well. This person is a natural born leader in many ways. I don't think this is the kind of person that always puts their hand up, but as a characteristic, if they're in charge of other people, they have a fair and balanced way of delegating tasks without coming across as too much of a dictator. They have a way of teaching that encourages learning rather than that abuse of power that can come with the student-teacher relationship, right? And I feel like you get to see these qualities in sporting situations as well as work environments. If this person is appointed a position of power, the people that work for them and the people above them see that they're very capable of handling that role. They don't see themselves as any different to the people that work for them, but they see themselves as someone who has the responsibility of educating, informing, and delegating to their team correctly and appropriately. This is the kind of leader who gets involved while also supporting and offering learning experiences to the people that they're responsible for. So I wouldn't be surprised if this person's job is either managerial or trade-based, and they may have people working beneath them. It does feel like this leadership energy is shown with younger people somehow as well. I was getting references to sport, but it could also be like a big, sibling vibe to a little sibling vibe. The interesting thing is I could see how someone like this was also an only child or felt like an only child, and their sense of family may be created later in life through their union with you. They may feel very, very close to the people that they've met later in life, and they may have a very close relationship to a best friend, to the point where they don't see that person as a best friend. They see that person as more of a brother or a sister. Outside of that, coming back to this side, I'm going to start with reliability. As a characteristic, it says it for what it is. This person is highly reliable. They're a great person to depend upon. And because of that, I feel like they don't make promises willy-nilly. If they can't do it, they won't say they can. If they can do it, they will say they can, and they'll stick to it. This person is reliable unless it contradicts with their own mental health. Then at the end of the day, they're going to prioritize their own mental health. When it comes to your relationship This reliability means that at times they will put you above themselves. And that's not to say that this is like I could see how that's perceived as like a negative thing, because you guys might be sitting on the other side going, well, I hope they do. Like, this is supposed to be my future spouse. Like, they better put me above themselves. But they don't do this to anybody else in their life. They don't do this to their parents. They don't do this for their own like siblings, their own best friend. Like, it's a big deal to be that close to this person, to the point where they put you above themselves. And that's something you're going to have to watch out for as their future spouse, because they learned to put themselves first as a point of self-care, addressing their mental health needs. So if they decide to put you above that, it could have negative repercussions on their mental health. I'm getting the sense that your union is going to be very balanced. I don't think you're going to struggle with that very often. I think it's going to be very rare circumstances, and at the end of the day, you two are going to balance each other out. Whenever they put you above them, it's because they know that you've got their back, and if you were in that position, you would do the same. So I honestly don't think you're going to struggle with that at all. That's what I'm picking up. With this strength energy, I did mention strength in relation to harmony before, and how this person being a very balanced person is one of their strengths. The fact that they're easygoing is something that allows them to get along with most people. But as a characteristic by itself, the word strength could indicate that this person is also physically strong. But to me, it is also talking about their character. This is a hard worker. This is a resilient person. They know how to put their head down and get a job done. And they also seem to be somebody that others turn to when they need strength. And I think that's why the sacral chakra is so important, because they do inspire other people. And with the strength card being here, I believe that their personality is the kind of personality that inspires others to kind of push themselves. I'm getting the word perseverance as well. And I'm pretty sure that word is in this deck. Let me just see, because if it's not, then that makes sense why strength came out. Perseverance. I just feel like this is the kind of person, that doesn't give up easily. So that's what I'm seeing. Let's have a look at how their family members would describe them now. And we're also going to have a look at how your family members would describe them. We're going to do family and loved ones for them. Spirit, how would my group 3's future spouses, loved ones, describe them? How would my group 3's future spouses, loved ones, describe them? We have the 5 of Cups reversed. My group 3's future spouses, loved ones, describe them, Spirit. Okay. We have the King of Swords. Not surprised. We also have the Empress. And how would my viewers' loved ones describe their future spouse? We have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And last card for you is the Page of Pentacles reversed. So there could be an age difference. This person may actually be younger than you. Keep in mind this is a general reading, but they may be younger than you. Okay, so let's talk about it. Sorry, my nose always gets a little funny when I read, because the channeling, I don't really understand it fully, but it's always happened. So if you hear the tissue rustling around, that's just me trying to get a little bit tidier so I can talk. Now let's have a look at their family and friends first. With these 2 cards over here, it almost feels like their family and friends kind of wish that they had more of them. This person's loved ones truly treasure whatever time they spend with your future spouse. With the Knight of Pentacles reversed, it feels like this person just kind of does their own thing and has done their own thing for a lot of their life. It's almost like Yes, they're reliable, but it's known by their loved ones that they're somebody who will always put themselves first. And I wouldn't say it's a fault, but it's certainly a defining characteristic. A Knight of Pentacles reversed is somebody who changes plans to better suit their interest. So it's almost like their loved ones kind of look at this person as, well, they often change their mind, or they're often up in the air about what they want or what they're doing, or, they had so much potential. This person may have a family member who's female who will always bring up that one time that this person had a scholarship, or that one time that this person was on track to be the lead, salesperson and take over the company. And instead they chose to spend their money on a trip to blah, blah, blah. It's like there's someone in their family who almost feels like this person never reached their full potential. And it's very interesting because it feels like a projection. When we read into this person's energy, there may be things that they regret, but when you talk to them, they would say, I don't have any regrets. I'm human and I do the best that I can with the information I have. And anything that I've done in my past is a reflection of the person that I was at that stage in my life. Had I had the chance at this stage to make the same decision, maybe I would have made a different choice, but that's because I'm older and I've learned more now. So it's almost like their family members hold grudges, or their loved ones may be very different to the way that they are. The Knight of Pentacles reversed is also that reference of someone who's more easygoing, someone who doesn't stress about the little details, someone who doesn't kind of hyperfixate on tidbits of information, someone who doesn't gossip too much, or who doesn't really speak too much, especially with this Page of Swords reversed. Their loved ones would describe this person as someone who you need to physically see to get a proper update on how they're doing. You can't just call this person or, message them online and expect a detailed update. You have to physically visit this person face to face to be able to get a full gauge of where they're at. And because of that, this person's social media may also be a bit of a mystery. It's like their loved ones are kept guessing about this person, even though this person will tell you, my mum's really important to me, or I have a twin who's really important to me. Their twin would say, I haven't seen them in a while. I need to actually go and catch up with them and drop around their house or their flat or their unit, their apartment, and just see how they are. It's like this person's loved ones know them, but they still have a hard time accepting them as they are. And it seems to be very different to the culture that their loved ones possess. So their loved ones may love, talking. They may have a group chat where they're all, sending each other updates at least once a week. This is what happened with baby Emery this week. Oh, we're going down to, this city over the weekend. This is what happened to me at work today. And this person may just be a silent observer for the most part. Not the most active person in the group chats is what I would say. But when you do have this person's attention, it's usually in person and you can get a lot more out of them, is what their loved ones would say. Their loved ones would admit that they don't get to see the best of this person. They would say that this person is definitely private, and that this person almost gets stuck in situations from time to time. Now, when we look at your loved ones will have a more developed point of view. So that makes me think that once you and this person come into union, this person is likely to see your loved ones more than their own loved ones. Now, that doesn't have to be a sad thing. It's almost something that happens naturally. And that would explain why their loved ones feel the way that they do. There's still respect here, but there's this feeling of like we don't have as much access to this person anymore. So I think that your loved ones will end up having a better understanding of who this person is. Your loved ones see this person as someone who has definitely developed beyond their past. They will see this person as someone who is more positive minded. They will almost struggle to interpret whether this person has been through any serious mental health issues, because your loved ones see this person as someone that makes everybody else feel better, that is really good at picking up the emotional pieces of loss and emotional change. Your loved ones may witness this person consoling you and looking after you while you undergo grief and loss. And their interpretation is that your future spouse is very patient, understanding, compassionate, kind, loving, supportive, all of those beautiful words. Because of that, your loved ones may worry that this person doesn't always express their feelings, but it's not something that they would really talk about. It's something they would think. Something they might bring up once, but they don't harbor the issue. They just sort of go, wow, I've never really seen group 3's future spouse cry. Well, that was a pretty traumatizing event that happened to all of us, and it's crazy how well they acted under pressure. So that kind of leaves more questions, but I feel like your loved ones just focus on the positives in that situation more than anything. With the King of Swords here, your loved ones would say that this person is very intelligent, mature, and very good at keeping the peace, especially if there are circumstances in which your family can become challenging or opinionated or kind of provocative and dramatic and loud. This person keeps their cool. They're able to kind of be in the middle in a not bad way. Say you have a sibling who you always kind of fight with and it's playful, but you may kind of play it off on your future spouse. Your future spouse is good at being diplomatic in that situation. Your loved ones would also say that your future spouse does give really excellent advice and insight, and they could be very book smart, but they come across as street smart as well. The King of Swords isn't just intelligent as an IQ. That intelligence is based off of experience, and it shows. With all these winged creatures, your loved ones may say that your future spouse is also someone who has a free spirit about them. They come across as a sovereign being in that they kind of do their own thing. And I feel that your loved ones are going to really respect your future spouse in that way. Your future spouse's need to be able to kind of have their own freedom. I feel your family will make allowances for this person that they haven't made for other people that have joined the family or married into the family. I believe you and this person will get married too, by the way. If you don't have children together, you'll still have the opportunity to be parental figures to other children in your family. With the Empress reversed, it's like your family wants the two of you to have children, but most of you may choose not to have children together. This person may be the parent to children you already have from previous relationships. And I think that your family will really want the two of you to, expand the legacy. But with the Empress card reversed, this pressure doesn't seem to impact this person's mind. This person is going to stick to the decision that the two of you have made about whether or not to have kids. Now, I can see with the Empress card reversed, your loved ones would also describe this person as somebody who doesn't seem to want the same things. And that's not a bad thing, but it's a noticeable thing. You may be a little bit more bougie, or you may really want, like, put a lot of like importance on specific things, and this person's values seem to be slightly different. It's not that they don't want them, it's just they don't prioritize them. So your loved ones will notice that at times you and this person have different priorities. Now, say it's Christmas. You may prioritize the importance of, making sure that the kids have a certain amount of gifts, or if you don't have children, making sure that you see a certain number of people before the holidays are over so that you can catch up with everybody. This person's priority seems to be on just making sure that the bare minimum is covered. They want to make sure the bills are paid, they want to make sure they're getting enough sleep, and they want to make sure, with the Empress reversed, that they're not overcommitting themselves financially and energy-wise. So I would say that your loved ones notice that this person's personality tends to take care of themselves and prioritize self-care above other things. And they'll learn not to take that personally, especially if you have a big social family. And I don't just mean family by blood, I mean like socially, friends that are considered family. If you have a big sort of group that loves to get together regularly, they'll learn not to take this personally. They'll learn that your spouse is somebody that just needs time for themselves at the end of the week, and that's their biggest priority. So that's what I'm seeing for you, my group 3s. That's how I can describe your future spouse to you, who they are as a person, their characteristics, how your loved ones would describe them, and how their loved ones would describe them. I'm going to go into your extended reading now, where we will have a look at your love languages. We're going to have a look at how the two of you love each other and what that looks like, which will also identify any potential challenges or conflicts that you may experience. Now, the goal of that isn't to focus on the negatives. It's to get a better understanding of what your relationship will look like. This is your future spouse for a reason. So looking at the challenges and conflicts helps us understand how the two of you work on this relationship, feeding that love back into this connection. If that extended reading sounds interesting or helpful or even just entertaining, the link to your extended readings is in the description box and the pinned comment. That supportive Hermie link takes you to a page on my website where I host all my extended readings. So please scroll and swipe to make sure that you've clicked the right reading, the right group. Remember your group 3 of the Who is Your Future Spouse reading that I posted, which is part 2 in this series. Thank you so much, sweet souls, for all of your time, your attention, your energy, your support. Thank you for tuning in right here on YouTube. If you enjoyed this reading, consider joining the fam if you haven't already, and give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if you have time. Otherwise, if this is where we're parting ways, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Until we meet again, bye. Hi Group 4 and welcome to your reading. If you recognize the Solar Plexus Chakra Oracle card or the Citrine Quartz Crystal Tower, then this is going to be your reading. We're going to put your crystal up here, taking away Group 3's crystal, and we're going to get into your reading, sweet soul. Now, without using too many words, we're asking Spirit, who is your future spouse? And I will be having a look at several different oracle cards, including tarot cards as well, to get us a realistic and in-depth look at your future spouse's personality. We're going to have a look at how you would describe them throughout your relationship, how their friends and family would describe them, and how your loved ones would describe them as well. Now, if you want more clues as to how you will recognize this person when you first meet them, then part 1 is probably a better reading for you to start with. Part 2 tells us more about your relationship with them. And your extended reading is where we truly focus on your connection by having a look at your love languages, the way that you love each other, the way that you overcome conflict together, and the way that you complement each other. So this part 2 reading is looking more at your connection and what it will be like once you're together in union. With that little spiel out of the way, let's focus on the card that we chose for you, group 4. Now, first of all, you're one of the 3 groups that got a card with the number 3 on it. Let's see how it applies to your connection. I'm getting a lot of words of being able to work well together, as in you and this person seem to be very proactive with this solar plexus chakra. There's this strong energy of you two potentially being a power couple, being very capable, the kind of couple that others look up to and admire. You seem to have a lot of up and go, a lot of zeal, a lot of passion, and a lot of umph. This is coming through as the kind of couple that wants to tackle things together. You want to do things together. You want to kind of go everywhere together. Your future spouse's personality is definitely one that feels purposeful and wanted in a connection when they have a sense of like purpose through the tasks that they're completing. This is somebody who needs to feel like they are an active part of your relationship and like they are able to contribute to your relationship through the things that they can do for your relationship. So this is a doer. This is someone that doesn't like to sit still for too long. I can see with solar plexus chakra, this person has a lot of confidence in themselves. They have a lot of confidence in their abilities, to the point where they may overassume their confidence and their ability to do things. This solar plexus chakra makes me think that your future spouse is someone who's like very determined, and you know, even if they have never done something before, they don't have experience in it, they're likely to want to just give it a go and kind of fake it till they make it with this solar plexus chakra energy. Now, the number of petals on this is also significant to you for some reason. We have 10 petals on the solar plexus chakra. So the number 10 could be significant to your connection. It could be their birthday, it could be the day you meet, it could be your anniversary. But the number 10 is also a number that I associate with hard work. It's a number that usually means completion of a cycle in tarot. And we only get there by really putting in the effort and going through all the stages. So this is someone that likes to feel like they've finished things. They can't just start something and leave it. They see it through till the end. They could have interesting Virgo placements as well, because I'm getting this attention to detail energy of someone that likes to feel proud of the work that they do. This person is the kind of person who a lot of people love to rely on. I would say that in certain circles, they're a hard worker. And because of that, you know, they may need to be a little bit careful about what they sign up for and who they say yes to. But they are coming through as a hard worker and as somebody who truly invests their time into things. Now, this solar plexus energy also gave us a strong masculine energy of confidence. This is someone who I feel gets a strong sense of self and identity out of their purpose. They feel like they're more accepted or loved or just confident within themselves when they're doing something. And that has to be something worthwhile. It has to be something helpful. It has to be something practical or something that, you know, is actually worth doing. Because of that, I don't think that they're good doing like little things unless it contributes towards a bigger picture. I wouldn't be surprised if this person enjoys working with their hands. If they don't work with their hands for their career, then they're probably somebody who enjoys the thrill of completing tasks and succeeding at their goals. They like to feel like what they're doing is creating change in some way. Because of that, I also see an altruistic flair to their personality. This is someone that I believe enjoys giving, and there's an energy of being very charitable and good-natured about this person. This is someone that probably likes to do random acts of kindness, or that likes to kind of offer their services in any way that they can. I'm also getting a message when I talk about services of this person being a jack of all trades. So their experiences through life and their ability to kind of just say, yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll give that a go, has given them the experience of many different skills over the years. So I feel like they're equipped to be able to do a variety of different things, and they have the ability to kind of work on or have had the chance to work on a lot of different, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this person's, good at plumbing, or had experiences doing carpentry, or is an engineer, or, used to work as this, like a jack of all trades, in that they have these skills that are like transferable in very practical ways. When it comes to social energy, I get that this person is pretty easy to get along with. I'm getting a really positive vibe from them. I think that the first impressions of this person are always quite positive. I think that this person is the kind of person that kind of just puts their head down and works hard. But I think that socially, a lot of the people around them would describe them as a very positive, energetic person who isn't afraid to get shit done, for lack of a better word. Interesting. I'm even hearing that people that want to hate this person can't hate them because of their nature. Like, it says more about them to have bad blood against this person. This person is just too sweet. I'm hearing it's not fair to hate on this person. They're too sweet. Now, with this solar plexus chakra, the only other thing I'm seeing is that you would see this person as kind of like your rock. When you run out of steam, when you run out of motivation, when you run out of positivity, when you run out of willpower, this person takes over. And they do so without making it a big deal. It's a part of what makes them feel helpful and supportive to you and your relationship with them. They step up in a way that feels like a huge load off your shoulders, like a huge relief. I'm just getting this big energy of you going, like just being able to breathe and exhale. So that's where I feel the two of you work well together, because from the outside, a lot of your loved ones probably see you and know you as someone who's got a lot of gumption, as someone who's used to doing things for themselves and who isn't afraid to get their hands dirty. But so is this person. So that's where the two of you seem to be this power couple, because when one of you runs out of steam, the other one steps right up. You would describe this person as your green light, your fuel, your energy source. Like, they just have an unlimited supply of support, willpower, and determination, which seems to be a trifecta of excellence in your relationship. I can see how you all are really good at kind of bringing this full circle. It's like you get so much done by yourselves, but your relationship benefits greatly from the two of you being able to show up in this energy as well. And if you're someone that struggles with your energy levels or your mood, like if you experience fatigue and it's more than just, not having the energy to do something, it actually feels like a mood disorder. That's where this person really steps up. They feel like your sun. They feel like they do more than just show up physically. Like, they are an energy source for you. They show up emotionally. They like the vitamin D boost that you need, really. And there is a sexual connotation to that too. I do feel like you and your future spouse will have a lot of strong chemistry. And the thing about this energy is, because it feels so strong, it does have a strong impact on you both as well. This solar plexus chakra is also about the way that your love feels. And I know we're going to talk about that more in your extended, but real quick, chemistry. Solar plexus chakra is a lot of power. It's a lot of energy. It's the driving force in your vessel. And it can be the part of your vessel that experiences self-esteem issues if it's not functioning correctly. So I feel like for this relationship, the two of you are definitely, maybe you underestimate how important it is to show up for each other like that. But the way that you truly love each other is by showing up in this way, not just giving each other attention, not just supporting each other with words, but also allowing each other the opportunity to help the other person out. It's like this person loves it most when you say, I'm only human, I can't do this by myself. And that gives them the chance to step up and go, well, that's why I'm here. And vice versa. You will love it when they say, like, I've actually been struggling and I'm having a hard time being able to do this by myself. And you'll say, well, that's why I'm here. This is a partnership. We work together. So that's the most beautiful thing about this energy. Let me pull some oracle cards from my Destiny Oracle deck now, and we're going to get more characteristics about your future spouse's personality. Spirit, for my group fours, what is their future spouse's personality like? We have the Strength card coming out. We also have Initiative. We have Commitment. Group four's future spouse's personality. What is their characteristics like? And we have Detail. Yeah, I did feel that. Okay, at the back of the deck is Perseverance. So having a look at these cards, we can see some beautiful themes here. This solar plexus chakra is definitely being shown with Strength and Commitment, but I did pick up on Detail before. Strength and Initiative. I didn't talk too much about Strength and Initiative, so I'm glad that those have come through. Perseverance is definitely this person's strongest trait. I would say that this person is also physically strong, but often when Strength and Perseverance come out together, it's telling me that it's more about this person's willpower, this person's drive. They are strong energetically. This is someone who is a fighter. They've had to fight to stay alive, and they don't give up easily. They're used to being able to push themselves and exert themselves in order to get the outcomes that they want. This is someone that enjoys success for the journey, not just the outcome. They enjoy being able to say, I did that and it was hard, but I did it. So this person's character is very strong. They make a strong impression on people who actually know them. They make a strong impression on people who have the privilege of seeing them work hard, and they make a strong impact on people who get to see this person commit themselves to their goals or their tasks. Now, this person takes commitment very, very seriously, which is beautiful for you as their spouse, but it reflects in all aspects of their life. They take their commitment seriously. I would argue that this person is quite a clean person too, with commitment and detail here. They take pride in the things they own. They try to maintain them to the best of their abilities, and that is translated into their home, into the vehicles that they operate, which is an interesting term to use. Maybe this person drives more than one vehicle or has more than one vehicle in their lifestyle or their work life. And it's also translated into the way that they look after themselves. When this person isn't doing well, it reflects in the way that they look. They try to pay attention to their vessel, taking care of themselves, looking good, smelling good, eating good. All of that is a part of what makes them feel good. So that is a big characteristic. This detail energy is also about their attentiveness. This is someone that doesn't miss a beat. They don't miss a clue. They understand what it means to be present and to show up, and they pay attention to things. Because of that, they also pick up on a lot of subtlety, and I feel like this person is going to be able to read you quite quickly after they get to know you. It is giving Virgo. They could have a Venus in Virgo or a Virgo moon. This is someone that pays attention to the small details. This is also someone that overthinks things as well. So I feel like communication could be a big love language for them. Not that we're supposed to talk about this in this part of your reading, but I do get this desire to explore and to analyze things and to discuss things, and basically to make sure that no stone is left unturned when it comes to your relationship. With this initiative energy here, this is somebody who values their independence, their ability to take the lead, to take charge. They enjoy a level of freedom within their workplace, within their home life, and within the relationship. And this isn't freedom as in, I just want to be alone. It's freedom as in, they need to feel like you're trusting them. They need to feel like their boss is trusting them with their ability to make the right decisions and to take the lead. This is someone that naturally likes to lead things, and they take initiative in ways where they only do what they expect others to do. So the best way that I can kind of describe that is, in a teamwork situation, this is somebody who doesn't wait to receive orders. This is somebody who pays attention to the task, what needs to be done, and they start working. In a leadership position, this is somebody who leads by example. And because of that, they may not be very good at delegating, but they only do what they expect others to do as well. So they are probably more of like a doer rather than a speaker in that way. And it's only after the fact that they realize, oh gosh, I probably should have communicated that better, or I should have gone over the details with you. Now, I believe that this person has a very active mind. I think they're quite curious about things. I think that they're someone that likes to learn new things. They may get to a certain point where they just want to do it, so they may have a hard time executing to the full extent, but I think that they're someone that thrives in an environment where knowledge is being offered and skills are being gained. Like, they love to learn. And I think with this component here, like, we have perseverance, initiative, and detail, as well as commitment. Honestly, this person can do a lot if they put their mind to it, which is why they don't just sign up for everything. When they make a decision, they stick to it and they see it till the end, almost stubbornly, digging their heels in until it's really not necessary to keep going. That's how I'm interpreting this. Now, with this strength energy being here, I can't help but feel like this person is somebody who is constantly a source of strength for others as well. They may have a lot of people in their life who depend on them. Could be in little ways, but could be in bigger ways as well. Because they tend to be able to carry so much, it seems like they sometimes get taken for granted as well. I'm hearing that they're a bit of a workhorse. So they may often find themselves in situations where burnout is highly likely, because people just look at them and go, well, you know, like, this is what they do. They work hard. They're a big person. They're capable. They're strong. And you, being their spouse, see behind the scenes how much effort it takes, how much zeal it requires. So that's really what I'm seeing with our characteristic cards. Let's pull tarot now to have a look at how those in their life describe them. I might just lay the cards on top, actually. We are going to use the Light Seers Tarot deck, just because I believe the colorfulness of these cards will help add more color to your spouse's personality. Maybe this person prefers to wear black or plain colors. All right, Spirit. For my group fours, how will my group fours loved ones describe them? My group fours future spouses, loved ones, describe them. Okay, first card is the Five of Swords. How will my group fours future spouses, loved ones describe them?
have the Lovers card. How will my group pause? We have the King of Cups reversed. And how will my viewers, loved ones, describe this person? Your loved ones, describe them as the Three of Wands. And we also have the Ten of Pentacles with the Magician at the back of the deck. Magician was reversed. So I believe that your loved ones truly see the value in this person's personality. Your loved ones see this person as an honest person, someone who wears their intentions on their sleeve, and someone who I feel maybe has more depth to them than they get to see. It's like your loved ones hear more about this person through your communication rather than from the horse's mouth is what's coming through. So your loved ones know that this person is an intelligent person, is, you know, a doer, and is all these wonderful things, but they're not necessarily able to see all of that. It's like they're having to hear about it through you, and it's giving the wonderful Wizard of Oz energy. It's like, you know, they're hearing all these fantastical, wonderful things, but they haven't seen it for themselves. It's like this person's a little bit of a fable or a myth. Not in a bad way, but it's just like your loved ones seem to be a bit skeptical and may think that you put your spouse on a pedestal. But outside of that, with the Three of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles here, for the most part, your family will love this person. Your family will agree amongst themselves that this person was the best person that you could have spent your life with, and that they are someone who you are going to have a family with. Your loved ones will be grateful for the family that they've brought into their lives. So you and this person are either likely to have children together or from previous relationships. And the way that you create a blended family, your loved ones are very grateful for that. The Ten of Pentacles is more than just children and grandchildren. It's also about legacy. So your loved ones will see your future spouse as someone who offers you the chance of like this future, this legacy that you deserve. They may be under the impression that your future spouse is very financially successful and has a really successful career that is going to take care of the next generation as well. With this Ten of Pentacles, this is where we get that impression of you two being a power couple, and it does come from your loved ones as well as this person's loved ones. It's like your loved ones see this relationship as something that will level up your lifestyle, your future, your experiences, everything. It's an investment worth investing in. And they really see your future spouse as like the person that you're spending your life with. For the Three of Wands to be here, it feels like your future spouse is seen as somebody who you may have waited a long time for, my viewer. Your loved ones get this impression as though you've either manifested this person or you waited a really long time to meet them. And they also have this impression with the Three of Wands that you and this person have this whole future planned with each other. And it kind of comes with a little bit of a bitter taste in the mouth. I don't think it's an intentionally bitter taste, but it feels like by accepting a future with this person, you're kind of naturally distancing yourself from certain family members. There's this appreciation that you have a lot to look forward to with this person, and it literally feels like you've kind of turned your back on some people and you're more excited and focused on your future. So this relationship definitely marks a change in your journey. It marks a change in your connections, in your sense of community. It's like some loved ones are kind of waving you off and saying goodbye to you as you embrace a future with this person. So it's overall positive. The Three of Wands is a positive feeling about the future, but it does have a wave of kind of yearning with it. And it feels like your loved ones are yearning for you and more time with you
as you start to create a long-term future with this person. There's this awareness of like, wow, we've really kind of lost them. And it's beautiful, but it's just a little bit sad as well. So let's have a look at their loved ones. How would your future spouse's loved ones describe them? With the King of Cups reversed, I think that your future spouse's loved ones see this person as being a bit of a softie, as having a huge heart, and as kind of being in situations where their heart has betrayed them before. This person's emotional being seems to be quite reactive, and the people that love them and know them best know them as being like a big softie, someone whose feelings get the better of them. Now, for the King of Cups to be reversed, it also means that at times this person has maybe struggled with their emotions, they've struggled with their emotional attachments. Their family members may be a bit afraid of this person falling in love again, and maybe a bit skeptical about whether this person can be trusted in relationships just because of the way that they love. There is this understanding with the King of Cups reversed that this person has a big, big heart. They love big, they love hard, and when they hurt big, they hurt hard. So I think that you would receive kind of cautionary messages from at least two close people in this person's life saying, like, I'm very happy for them, but, you know, I also am afraid that they're just going to get hurt again. So I feel like they've got loved ones that are quite protective of them, is what we usually see with the King of Cups reversed. And it has to do with this person being betrayed in the past and being hurt in the past, especially in romantic connections. You may hear from their parents that they were quite a sensitive child that needed a lot of emotional support or attention, and that they may have struggled with their mental health when they went through their teen years, and this was something that really stood out to their parent. With the Five of Swords coming out first, this is a card that indicates social conflict. It indicates feeling like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place in a way where I believe this person's loved ones would say this is someone that doesn't do well with conflict. They don't like to be caught in the middle of things. This person may be a middle child. They may also be that person that seems to be caught up in the middle of things in a social sense. Like they may feel like, you know, if their friends are at odds, they're the one that's stuck in the middle. Their loved ones would say they don't like to choose sides, and they often try to remain neutral, but it does take a toll on them. They don't do well feeling like they're stuck in the middle. As a characteristic, I also feel like this card represents a version of your future spouse that maybe only their like confidants get to see. And what this means is, I think that this person takes problems very seriously. I think that if someone that they love is going through something, your future spouse wears it like their own problem, and it can really bring them down. They can really get a bit too invested in this conflict or this challenge, and they can feel like it's, you know, the weight is on their shoulders to resolve these issues and to solve these problems. So this Five of Swords is definitely like this person kind of taking things a bit too personal instead of being able to just sort of let it go or pass the responsibility back. This person may have the tendency to want to fix things and fix people and overdo it sometimes as well. With the Lovers card being here, I feel like that's this person's loved one saying that this is someone who's a romantic at heart. You know, they believe in soulmates, they believe in perfect couples, they believe in happily ever after. The Lovers card represents this beautiful idea of union, and as a description of how their loved ones would describe them, I believe that their loved ones would say that this is someone who was ready for love, even when other people weren't. This was someone who believes in love, even when other people gave up. And this is someone who almost naively opens themselves up to love, even when other people told them not to. So it almost comes as a beautiful way of describing this person that still feels quite protective, because this lover's energy does talk about almost their loved one saying, like, we told them to just focus on them and to just, love themselves until they were ready to love somebody else. So it makes me think that you and your future spouse may have been single for quite some time, just working on yourselves before you truly kind of came into union with each other or met each other. Now, there could also be an indication here of opposites attract culturally or ethnically, as I'm seeing two very different looking people. So this person's loved ones may say, like, yeah, they've always been attracted to people who look different to them, or there could be something like that as well. I believe that this person takes chances in love. They are very happy to dust themselves off in order to stay open to better experiences in love, which says a lot about what they've been through. There's a lot of hinting here from their loved ones that this person's been through challenges in relationships. Outside of that, the Lover's card is Gemini energy. It's an active mind, it's an intelligent mind, and it's someone who still has curiosity. So their loved ones would describe them as someone who has a youthful side to them, a youthful side to their personality, to their sense of humor, and to the way that they see life as well. So that's really what I'm seeing, sweet souls, when it comes to who your future spouse is. I'm going to end your YouTube reading here and go into the extended readings now, where we will focus more on your love languages. We're going to have a look at what your love language is, how you like to give and receive love. We're going to look at your future spouse's love languages, how they like to give and receive love. We're going to have a look at how you love each other, what that looks like in your connection, and how you overcome challenges through the love that you have for each other. So more about your connection in the extended reading and what it will be like with this person. If that sounds interesting, and especially if the first part of your reading has resonated, the link to your extended is in the description box and the pinned comment. Please make sure when you click on that link that you're selecting the right extended reading. That link will take you to a page where I host all my extended readings. So double check, triple check that you've selected the right group. Remember your group 4 of the Who is Your Future Spouse reading that I posted in 2024, December 2024. Thank you for all of your time, your energy, and your support right here on YouTube, group 4. I appreciate you for trusting me with these messages and for letting me read for you for another year. It's been an absolute privilege, and I wish you all the best on your journey moving forward. Until we cross paths again, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy. Look after your beautiful selves. Bye.